I won't bore you with a discussion of automotive purchasing trends. All you need to know is that subcompact luxury SUVs are hot. That's with 2 T's. Maybe add an exclamation point or 3. You get the gist. Tiny luxury SUVs are all the rage, and now Lexus has one called the UX. That stands for Urban Crossover. It operates in a segment that includes the Audi Q3, Mercedes-Benz GLA, Volvo XC40, Cadillac XT4, and a bunch of others. Built from the same TNGA platform that underpins the Toyota CHR, the UX shares the CHR's 103.9-inch wheelbase. But to be clear, the UX is not simply a Lexusized CHR. It's lower, wider, and nearly 6 inches longer. Of course, those dimensions have implications for interior space. With the subcompact Toyota CHR as our yardstick, overall legroom is essentially the same, but a lower roof naturally means less headroom. The actual numbers depend on whether or not you have the sunroof or the F-Sport seats, but in our tester at 5'10", I fit with more than adequate clearance. Hard cut to the back seats and my knees barely clear. There's good headroom, but just like the CHR, the rear quarters of the Lexus UX create a sense of visual claustrophobia. We did a really good job with that shot, Mike. Okay, it's not quite as claustrophobic feeling as the CHR. Nothing is as claustrophobic as the CHR. For a stronger sensation of roominess, along with actual roominess, the Volvo XC40 or Cadillac XT4 are better choices. I'll also mention that it might have been neat if the rear seats reclined, and the armrests are covered in soft material, but they're unpadded, invoking a sad squirrel on the Micah Muzio Elbow Comfort Index. Depending on audience reaction, I might have to make that index a real thing. On a brighter note, the center rear seat is usable for short journeys, the fold-down center armrest is satisfyingly squishy, and passengers are treated to rear vents plus 2 USB ports. Open the power tailgate and you'll find 21.7 cubic feet to fill, a more than respectable number for the segment. For an even larger, not quite flat load floor, just lower the seat backs. You'll probably have to drop the headrest to do so, but they flip forward conveniently, just like in the Corolla hatchback. Before departing the interior, let's bust out some rapid-fire observations. There's an analog clock, for the millennials. Volume and tune inputs for the audio system are made with these weird rollers and buttons instead of knobs. The front seat armrests are well padded. Center console storage is accessed through a 2-way cover, just like other Lexuses. The glove compartment has a 2-level divider. This extending sun visor is failing at its job. The overall interior motif looks modern and premium, a sense confirmed when you touch the soft bits, and contradicted when you scratch hard plastics. And lastly, look! A CD player. For the millennials. In powertrain land, there are 2 choices. First is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine teamed with a continuously variable transmission in the UX 200. CVTs have a bad rep among car reviewers, but the UX uses the same launch gear technology as the CVT in the Corolla hatchback. And honestly, I like that CVT. It's funny how all those Corolla bits in a Lexus are a good thing. Bottom line, choose the UX 200 and you probably won't hate how it drives. Plus, it's quite efficient. Engine option 2 is an all-wheel drive hybrid powertrain found in the $2,000 pricier UX 250H, and it's an interesting one. In front, there's a 4-cylinder engine teamed with a pair of electric motor generators. In back, a third motor drives the rear wheels, enabling all-wheel drive traction at speeds up to 43 miles per hour. The system's nickel-metal hydride battery is conveniently hidden beneath the rear seats. With electric torque and 181 total system horsepower, the 250H feels plenty gutsy around town. In fact, it's a few ticks quicker from 0 to 60 than the non-hybrid UX. 8.5 seconds to 60 isn't blazing fast, but it's fine for urban exploring. The hybrid's smooth power delivery when accelerating is contrasted by maddeningly sensitive brakes. When slowing, not only does the brake pedal feel unnatural, but making small, smooth adjustments to pressure is almost impossible. I'm not one to blame equipment, but coming to a seamless stop is really more luck than skill. If the brakes in the 250H don't drive you nutty, outstanding fuel economy will be your reward. The UX Hybrid also offers an EV drive mode for short all-electric stints, though I'm struggling to find a practical use case. Be sure to scour the comment section for suggestions. At higher speeds, say on the freeway, bumps are managed with dignity and interior noise is subdued, though I have noticed a tendency for the UX to wander on straight stretches, necessitating frequent steering corrections. That aside, I like how the UX drives, including around corners. When negotiating bends, the littlest of Lexi has a stable, steady feel. Oh God, that was a big hit. That's not the car's fault, that was my fault. All of that's supported by smooth steering with just the right heft. Gonna need a moment. There are sportier SUVs, but the Lexus UX wins with a generally confident demeanor. On that note, driver visibility is good in most directions, but a thick B-pillar partially blocks the driver's view left. That's a convenient segue into safety, where Lexus Safety System Plus 2.0 comes standard across the board. That comprehensive suite of driver assist technologies features full-speed dynamic cruise control, pre-collision warning with automatic braking and pedestrian detection, intelligent high beams, road sign detection, and lane departure warning featuring steering assist that intervenes in refined fashion. In cheapest rendition, a base UX 200 has an MSRP right about $33,000, including destination charges. That price includes 18-inch wheels, LED headlights, Apple CarPlay but not Android Auto smartphone integration, 3 drive modes to tailor your UX driving experience, and a 7-inch infotainment display, though our test car's 10.25-inch screen is definitely the better choice. Control of that screen occurs through this Lexus remote touch interface. It allows zoom gestures and swiping and tapping. It has haptic feedback, and it even recognizes handwriting. If you go down here and hit change type and then go to handwriting, you can do, let's see if it will recognize. Yeah, there we go. It's recognizing my name. What fun. The thing is, all of those moves and those screen layouts take a little time to really learn. So I recommend doing that when you're not driving 80 miles an hour. Yeah, this will do. Heads up, if you're my height, the gear shifter will block your view of the remote touch interface when driving. But honestly, you should be watching the road instead. If your budget allows, premium features are available, like a foot-activated tailgate, heated and ventilated front seats, and an F-Sport package that elevates the UX's style and handling prowess while adding 0% more power. Versus foes like the BMW X1, Mercedes-Benz GLA, Cadillac XT4, and Volvo XC40, the Lexus UX is competitively priced. On top of that, the UX boasts the Lexus brand's acclaimed reliability and resale values, drives wonderfully, aside from those darn hybrid brakes, and it looks properly daring in keeping with Lexus's modern design direction. Note the expectedly huge grille and the full-width rear light consisting of 120 LEDs. Neat. Ultimately, there are roomier and sportier choices, but the Lexus UX succeeds at being the Lexus of subcompact SUVs. And honestly, that's all it needs to be to sell like hotcakes. That's better.